Okay, guys, you know how long this podcast is going to be now.
Oh no, I have another appointment in like an hour. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's called part 2 of this episode because the elf is just worth 200 some hours.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was the clap that gave it away. I saw the waveform was a little low, but for anyone joining in now, welcome to Pokemon Discourse with myself, Apocalypse, and Payne.
Hello, it is me, and it is now officially sweater weather.
Sweaters for everybody.
Yeah.
The worst part about sweater weather is I think it got to like 6 o'clock and I was walking around my house and I was like, the lights are off, it's dark, it feels like 9 p.m.
Yeah, I could see that, except I don't really walk around my house. It's just kind of, well, I take a couple steps and, yep, well, I'm there. Well, no, this whole thing, like, this is the first time I wore it. I bought this last year, and just, like, I looked down, and I'm like, I never wore this.
Yeah, I own it. Time to wear it.
Let's put it on, and then, like, it still had the tags. I think the main reason I didn't wear it is that I was a little rounder, and also I thought it was a thicker sweater, but it is kind of thin. And when I wore a shirt underneath it, because it's white, it would bleed through. And so I'm like, oh, that's no good. So, but anyway, in case anyone wanted to know, because Audacity scared me for a second, disk space remaining for recording 197 hours and 4 minutes.
Oh, nice. I have 203 hours and 43 minutes.
Oh, man. Okay, guys, you know how long this podcast is going to be now.
Oh no, I have another appointment in like an hour. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's called part 2 of this episode because the elf is just worth 200 some hours.
Uh-huh. I mean, we could probably find 200 hours worth of things to talk about with this movie.
It's more work than they put in this.
And if you have any kind of good history with our holiday horror movies so far. I was going to say bracket. We haven't done a bracket in a while. But with all these movies we've been watching so far, the more we talk about them, the less we like them.
Yeah, the farther we get, to be fair, the one of the first ones we recorded, which is that coming out next? Yeah. It is. Next week's episode is one that we recorded back in August, and I think we both said, I think that's going to be the best movie that we watched.
In hindsight, though, Black Christmas, I forgot about that one, and that one was a good movie.
Yeah, Black Christmas was pretty. There have been enjoyable ones. But, like, we were talking about this earlier, and, like, if this list was different
order,
like, a different order, some of these would have scored higher. Like,
yeah,
I don't think our gripes with Necrotronic would change, but I'm wondering compared to the last couple weeks.
We would give it a little bit more credit.
It'd be a little, like, you could hear everything. And he poops. But I do have some facts for the elf. Some fun Christmas facts. Such as new traditions can be just as creepy. Probably the newest tradition on the list, Elf on the Shelf, is based on a children's book published in 2005.
That's why I said it's in the 2010s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were talking about this before we started. The small elf doll appears in different places of the house, spying on events and making sure children are good. The elf never moves if the children are watching it, to their knowledge. And if it is ever touched, the magic will disappear forever. For many, this is a fun new Christmas delight. But you can't deny that there's something creepy about the elf's motionless eyes staring right at you from all over the house as I look over and see the last GIF Hop sent me is the GIF of the elf.
The Elf on the Shelf doll getting zoomed in on.
Yep. And then there's this other one mainly because this country is mentioned in the episode. Rotten seal and fermented eggs. In Greenland, there's a special Christmas delicacy called kivek. It's the body of a seal stuffed with the carcass around 400 auks. They're small / very cute birds, according to the person who wrote this. And then it's left out for 3 to 18 months. Oh my goodness. The air is squeezed out of the seal, and the body is coated with seal grease to prevent the whole thing from rotting. The auks ferment in that time so that when the seal is finally open around Christmas time, they can be eaten raw. What's an auk?
I don't want to look at it because it probably is really cute. Because I know,
I'll walk.
because I remember. Do you remember that old show, like Weird Foods or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
There was an episode about puffins, and I refused to watch it because I did not want to watch cute little puffins getting caught into nets to then be cooked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
I have
vegetarian, but I should be.
I have seen these animals before. You know what I should also say for next week's episode, there are no Christmas facts because we didn't think of it. But that episode is chaotic enough. It doesn't need the help of facts.
There's there is a lot happening. We have a very fun guest. Um, we
Some real life events happen in the middle of recording.
Yeah, I had to call the fire department,
Mm-hmm.
but that's in the past. You can know that everything turned out fine because no, I still
Or
have a
did it?
house.
Maybe this is Looper.
Oh, it's Looper.
Yeah. I never watched it.
I
So,
did. I don't remember much of it. I remember having fun, but in that whole like, oh, action and things are happening.
mm-hmm. I feel like after this movie, there will be a lot of things that are fun. Um, we're just really hyping up this movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyone who is just now listening in for the first time, we have been watching holiday horror movies. I've tried to order them from least holiday themed to most holiday themed, and by holiday I mean like the Christmas spirit and all that. And we have fallen onto one that technically has to happen during Christmas, but has nothing to do with Christmas.
I'll say it definitely has more Christmas vibes than some of the other movies.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe instead of vibes, themes. But
Themes.
anyway, so
So this is how many movies in are we at this point? We are one, two, three, four, five, six, 8 movies in since we plan to watch
mhm.
movies from Halloween to to Christmas.
To be fair, next year we're gonna be watching movies for way longer
Hey, we
than
also
this.
watched through all of Gravity Falls.
Yes, but that was only 20 minutes, except for one episode that was 40.
Yes. And then again, if it's your first time here, what we do going
How
into
dare you? No.
welcome in is what we should be saying. Is we roll D100 dice, and that is specific to when we do more horror-esque themed parts of the podcast because Call of Cthulhu rules. Otherwise, we do play a lot of other role-playing games. But yeah, lowest that rolls on a D100, a percentile die, gets to give a tiny synopsis of the movie before we go on a half-hour timed rant. We can fit it all
It's
in.
it's it's gonna be a rant this time.
So I'm gonna
Oh,
roll. What dice are you using this time? I left my dice in the
well,
basement still.
I have. I'll let you choose. I have stinky cheese and the ocean dye right available.
Stinky cheese.
Okay, that's the one I was about to roll. Okay, I am rolling stinky cheese. Oh, okay, that is a very middle of the road. 48. Oh my gosh.
So you get to give the
Okay.
synopsis this week.
Yeah. So a not newlywed, soon to be wed couple.
Dating for 3 months and now engaged.
Yeah. And look, just in the words of Sonic, you got to go fast.
I lost my
Um,
brain when she said, "Is this what cold feet is like?" It's like you don't even know anybody. Sorry, I'm interrupting
yes,
the synopsis.
it's all good. Um, this couple, they go and visit this pretty much this toy shop that I think was owned by man. I don't know his name. With Nick? Is it
Someone that
Nick
gave
his
him a
name?
key. They were exchanging keys in the beginning, and then he was said
Yeah.
that he came back to the place he was born to have things appraised. Oh,
Anyway, he finds a chest, like says some incantation and awakens the elf pretty much. We find out that he super hates Christmas, but before that, the elf that they're like, wow, this thing's lame, shows up in their house. And then more guests show up in their house in the form of her family. And he's like, meh. And then just death and annoyance happens.
and a
And
twist.
and technically yes, in the most like Oxford Dictionary version of twist that isn't a dance. Yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis. It's just a an elf kills everybody. You know, what does this say for? Oh my goodness, that's way longer.
You
Yeah.
gave like
Oh,
about a
his
minute and a half,
his
two
name's
minutes.
Nick. Yeah. No, I was gonna see like what does the summary of the thing is. Yeah, but pretty much the elf goes around killing a whole bunch of people that are on a naughty list. And one can be taken off. But
Only
anyway,
if you agree to the pact or
sounds a
something.
lot sounds a lot like the Skeleton Key, a movie that I don't know of anybody else that has watched. I'm just stalling for me to set up the 30-minute timer because, guys, it's gonna get there's gonna be some gripes about this one because we were griping before we even we don't do this, but one of us will stop the other. But we just kept going. So anyway, I'm starting the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
I was Pavloved into clapping. I was ready to raise my hands.
Uh,
Uh, so what I will say that it is really impressive that after the movie we watched last week that I could watch a movie and hate dislike it more. I saw a review on
yes.
Letterboxd that said whatever the production company is, I forget. It's like Uncorked Productions. I hate you.
Yes.
Hugs and kisses. 1 star.
Yes. The review that Hop sent me is says this movie is so bad. I don't know if I could even call it a B movie. Maybe somewhere in the middle of the alphabet. I think most of this budget was on promoting the movie and posters. Avoid. Just avoid. Um the thing is it's like there there could have been potential, but there wasn't. Um
Yeah, I think when before we started recording, I told D-Payne my first sign that this was going to be hard to watch was the first time that they let a scene happen for too long. So like the setup I thought was okay. I wish we got a little bit more information on the fact that the guy was sewing a child with makeup on, and I was like,
yeah.
Is that the elf?" And then is that Krampus? Because we get the one like furry claw hand. Never comes up again,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Never comes back. Maybe in elves.
I know, and I was like, is that Geppetto? Again, never comes back. We never learn about it.
Oh,
Um,
that would have been a way more interesting. It's Pinocchio.
yeah, but
There's
the
got to be a stupid Pinocchio movie where he kills people by lying with his nose.
I'm pretty
Anyway,
sure it exists. If there's the Winnie the Pooh one, there's got to be a Pinocchio one. But the scene that got to me is in like the first, I want to say it was like the first 15 minutes, we're getting introduced to the characters and the fact they're in a toy shop. She brings up like the toy ledger doesn't have any prices, and he's just like, haha, maybe he didn't write it down. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of reasons someone doesn't keep track of things in a ledger. Like maybe he
mm-hmm.
wasn't selling things. But then um she's like standing by a window talking to a friend who is very annoying, and she's standing there, and the scene is like 2 minutes too long of her standing and staring outside a window hanging up her cell phone. It's like I had somebody joke that it's okay to abstract some things in the story, Like you never see people in Star Wars use the bathroom, but you don't go, well, do they not use the bathroom? You just fill in that
I
blank. You
no,
don't
I
need to
ask it. I ask it every time.
you don't need to show us the little detail of her like if you're watching on YouTube, she's holding the phone like this and then like slowly like hits where the hang up button would be on a phone call and then stands there for another 30 seconds staring out the window. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, it's one of these. They don't know how to edit.
They don't know how to. They don't know how to turn off phones. They're all Gen Zs, where they don't know how to work technology.
What does this mean? What is this?
It's I've been on this rant of where, or not rant, but this like string of TikToks where it's just millennials just getting tired of getting gripes from boomers and millennials, and it's just like, oh, there's one where they're just the big one that kind of I hear getting people a little bit all worked up. It's just like, oh, you're Gen Z. I thought you were millennial. You look so refined for your age. Or like you look so old. And they're like, what? But
That's funny.
anyway,
Um,
that or it's technology issues.
yeah, but so basically, yeah, so you have that scene and like
That's the best scene in the like sorry,
the
the
intro is
old man. The old man is like there was thought that went into there.
the
That's
the puppetry
very
opening.
first scene. The very first
You're
scene with the
saying you
old man.
didn't want to listen to a girl go, "What happens when the murderer shows up to the town?"
Look, there was a couple of scenes that I didn't like,
Only a
but
couple.
every scene that I thought that could have just a whole character that could have just been completely wiped and would have exponentially made this movie better is every time that that friend was called. And it was
Yeah.
very she was very like first scene she's just like what like at work or like in her house or something. No, she's
No, she's at
smoking
home
doing
and
the
she has
she
a
has the bong.
yeah.
The second one,
She's in a
she's like in a
drive-through.
no, that's the third one. The second one, she's in like a graduation
Oh,
gown,
she is in a graduation thing, like
and
in
it's
a
just like,
backyard.
yeah, it's like what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
It's like
she had a black scent, which was pretty unbearable. She also overacted. Like everybody else in this movie underacted, and then she
because
overacted.
she was an acting vampire. She sucked it all up. That's why they just stick her on the phone.
Because at one point she's like, when she's in the drive-through, and I was losing my mind. She was like this. She was like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
killer, Amityville horror." And I was like, "Stop moving your hands.
What's
Stop
her
moving your
name?
hands." We
I'm
don't.
trying
No,
to.
we're not making fun of the lady. We don't.
No, no. I just want to see if she's been in anything else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
No,
make fun
that's
of
the
the
mom.
acting
Oh,
directors.
Sky. There we go. Sky was her name. Oh, she was in Elves. It looks like she was kind of. Oh no, Sky's in the second movie.
Yeah, you said elves. That's the second one.
No, that character's in the second movie.
Duh, it's a sequel, DP. And remember the way this one ends?
Sort of.
You forget already.
I I'm like looking at the names. My favorite part about this movie, is that no one has last names.
Not a single person. No, they do. Mr.
Ex-
Conway.
yeah. Well, like none of the. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like on the IMDb, it's not there.
Yeah, they're not listed.
Anyway,
Um,
um,
yeah, there were a lot of scenes that were just too long. I don't think it was to pad airtime. I think they just didn't realize that they didn't need the scene to be as long as it was. Um, this was
mhm.
kind of like watching The Cell. Here's your Cell mention because
Yeah.
they wanted to convince me. Like The Cell did convince me that there was childhood trauma affecting the adults, but in The Cell, it was a problematic display of how trauma gets um processed and held by an adult. But in
Hmm.
this one, they wanted to convince me that he had childhood trauma, and they showed me so little of what happened that I was convinced that he actually was just mentally unwell and was making up his past.
Yeah. I will say there was the only other part where the actor I think did a good job, and it's probably the only way this actor got the job as Nick, was when he was having like PTSD flashbacks as him like just
In the bathroom
he was, yeah,
in a
that,
towel.
and then like when the elf is running around killing a fiance. Just like he had a very good like I am not seeing anything around me stare.
Yeah, yeah, the one stare he had when he was like passed out, and I was just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's dead. Like, there's not a thought in those eyes when she was like, wake up, Nick. We must leave, Nick. Nick, we have to go.
Yeah. Um.
Sorry, was that too many emotions compared to the acting direction in this movie?
Or Dad, no, please wake up, Dad.
Cradling your father. The
Yeah.
father's lines made me laugh so much. If I'm going to be guilty, it will just be guilty of protecting my daughter. And then
Yep.
her stepmother, hun, we didn't tell you to protect you. You didn't tell your daughter she was engaged to someone supposed of murder?
Yeah. I can fix him.
All right. So to clear up the clear as mud of a plot as this one has, oh, I don't remember the supernatural stuff happening because they tried to explain it. There was a stamp on the main guy, Nick, that
That was so
slid.
terrible.
It was
It's
here.
confusing because in the beginning of the movie, it shows it on his arm, and I think it's actually like a tattoo or painted on. And then later, he's just like,
Forgot
"Oh!" and the
it.
camera pans, and it slides all over his arm because they don't know how to track a 3D model on its skin.
They also CGI'd the knife going through the door because clearly they like rented out a model home, but they didn't want to put holes in the door.
Yeah,
Sorry, again. The CGI is atrocious in this.
I just don't. I don't
The
understand
elf did,
why.
the elf never looked close to the elf doll. Anyway,
I didn't. I didn't mind the elf CGI.
it was
It was it
hilarious.
was funny. Yeah, that was funny. But
This
it's just like I think the thing that bothered me the most is that they couldn't pick one medium. It's like one like CGI, which I'm just like, cool, yeah, it doesn't matter. And then it's just like puppet. And I'm like,
uh,
especially like the cutscene you sent me where or the screenshot where it's like a giant present and then it's just like knife through the present.
for
And
like
it's just like
5 minutes.
I'm like, why did you even put yourself in a present? And then it's just like
He
puppet
goes
like
down
meh.
it. I laughed so hard. It was out of the
Yes.
corner. I was sitting there and he just goes, ha! And I was like, oh. And
Yeah.
then he slides slowly back in, and I was like, what was the purpose of this scene?
Hmm.
But
And then, yeah. So yeah, there's that. Hold on, we're getting
yeah, I was gonna say
way too
before I
far.
forget. So, well, all I remember about the plot is that we have this girl who moved to the middle of nowhere because she got engaged to Nick, who she's only been dating for 3 months. He hates everything Christmas, so naturally she throws a Christmas party and
That's
invites
her own fault.
and invites her family, and he starts having panic attacks, and everyone's like, what's the big deal? And then that's when we find out that maybe at 9 years old he killed his parents, and that
Well,
her
before that, doesn't he have like the flashback in the shower of a demonic Santa, or was that later?
no, the first shower one was him
Oh,
in the party, and everyone was staring at him.
that cracked me up so much. I want to talk a little bit about these frozen things because the people in there they couldn't stay still.
Mm-mm.
Like the old lady was just like, no blink.
You know what else couldn't stay still? The cameraman.
Yeah.
Because like it would be fine, and then I would blink, and suddenly the frame was like her head was like not in the same frame position, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, and then it would slightly sway and then settle, and I was like, oh, they didn't have anything to help stabilize. That guy's tired.
Yep.
But yes,
Um.
so he has that flashback about like the party and then the one Christmas tree and everything. But yeah, she keeps going like, LOL Christmas, why won't you let me meet your mom? And he's like, I told you why you're not allowed to meet my mom. And then he meets an old man who crashed a car and he's babbling. But yeah,
Yeah.
so her family comes over for Christmas.
I originally thought that dude was dead. Like I thought it was a dead dude that only he could see because
She never gets out of the car.
she never gets out of the car. She's like, "Why are we stopping?" Doesn't make any addressing that that's there, and it's like, can he only see like something because he said this pact thing with the elf?
That would be interesting, but not the case. The explanation's much worse than like what we filled in the gaps
You
for.
know what? The naughty list doesn't even make sense. Okay.
They spent all their money on the CGI for the first one where they changed the names back and forth the first time you see
No,
it.
I'm saying like they made it sound like only the people on the list could be killed. Why the heck did those carolers die? And also, why is every caroler in these movies look like they are tortured souls?
They My favorite thing was I sat there and I was like, I'm very impressed that this little foot and a half tall thing, according to the mother-in-law or stepmother, the foot and a half tall creature could kill 8 kids at once.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where he strangled her so much I could not tell if she puked or if she got like a wired and was like bleeding. Also, it wasn't snowing anymore.
Yeah, no, the snow was optional.
Yeah, it was optional. There's a big
If
snowstorm. You can't go out there covered in snow.
that
Carolers,
was,
no snow.
it felt like it was elf magic.
I'm pretty sure it was.
To be fair, I could see it being elf magic that the snow only happens when the elf is there, because the only time it does snow is when the elf is there, and the
And
snow only
murdering.
picks up when the elf starts murdering all the carolers. Um, but I would like to say this what I wrote once here, because like this is after like she's complaining to Sky. Victoria, that's her name. Victoria's complaining to Sky. Victoria's the one who is
The
marrying.
girlfriend or fiance.
Yes, the fiance. Um, he she's kind of having second thoughts and everything. It's like, well, no, he's okay. And then we have all that, and she's like frustrated with him, and I'm like, either he's a really crappy boyfriend or she is insufferable. And it turns out it's both.
Yeah, it turns out it's yes. Um,
Uh,
yeah, so then yeah, the family's over. The brother-in-law hits him over the head and pushes him in the snow and says, Mr. Conway says to break off the marriage. While
yeah, well,
inside,
the whole reason they go out is to go find
oh, the
Grandpa
grandparents.
Fred.
Because
The
he said,
grandparents.
I don't want to drink liquor from Greenland because you came up with the fact. He said, I don't want
Yeah.
Greenland liquor. And yeah, their acting was so weird.
Yeah.
They wanted
Well,
to
which
make
is
them like the old bitter couple, but like the lady was like, "You're this close." I was like, "To what?"
yeah, and the grandpa, I I felt the most connected with him because I didn't want to be there either.
I know.
But
I loved when they were looking for them though. Papa,
yeah,
Nana.
and it's like, why is he calling him that?
Yeah, he's not married in, and he doesn't see
And
them as family.
I'm like with them. Also, does this movie take place in Greenland? Because why would he be so specific about Greenland alcohol?
Yeah, they never even said like if he
Never
was
says
there or
where it's from.
anything.
Because it's like this town, yeah, it's the middle of nowhere, and it's like it definitely looks very run down. But at the same time, it's like, where are we?
Yeah, we have no indication. All we know is what did she say? There's nobody outside. Also, she said that when they were in the store, she's like, "Oh, I saw a man shoveling snow," but she failed to mention to her friend that there was no snow. Like the creepy
Yeah.
part is not a man shoveling snow; it's a man
Hmm.
shoveling
Well,
snow
to be fair, I don't know a lot of people that shove snow with a pointed shovel.
with a
That's
dirt shovel.
yeah,
It's
that's
also
just
fair.
gonna just cause more problems.
So then, yeah, so then you have the brother-in-law who's like, I'm a psychologist, and then pushes him, while inside the main girl is complaining to her sister, saying like, I think I have cold feet, and the sister's like, look, I can't tell you what's best for you, only you know that. I'm like, those are not sisters.
Hmm.
Siblings will always be like, look, you're being dumb, and you need to stop it.
Yeah. To be fair, the sister also had a very good idea later when after dad got stabbed, she just runs out. She's like, I'm done with this.
I
She
know,
just runs out of
and
the house
I was
and
hoping
just
that they would
disappears.
I was hoping they would bring up the fact that they get into the family argument where she's like, "Where's my brother that doesn't like talking to you anymore?" And I was like, "Can that become part of the plot?"
Well, the dad finds him.
No, that's the brother-in-law. The Victoria randomly goes, "Of course we got in a fight, Dad, because I have a brother and he doesn't like talking to us." Or what about the mom that you
Oh,
had committed into an asylum? Are we gonna talk about that?
this was before I turned on subtitles.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, this is another thing, guys. So like this this family I was asking, why is this family so awkward? Because the dad like sounds like he's being like trying to be accommodating and being like, okay, let me get to know my daughter's boyfriend or fiance that I definitely already hate. And he's just like, hey, how you doing? How's the in the house? Oh, here, why don't you have some alcohol? Oh yeah, you want
Greenland?
that? Yeah, I'm just like a tall dude, you know. That's
Also, the drink that the dad made for them when they were sitting in the kitchen and the sisters were drinking, I was like, is that pudding in their wine glass or champagne glasses? And the sister's like, I think you've had too much of this Greenland eggnog. And I went, okay, that looks so disgusting.
hold on, green.
I don't think it's real.
I'm looking it up because I would have looked it up if I knew that's what was said. Greenland eggnog. 30 food traditions around the world. Why is Chuck E. Cheese on here? Oh, I hate these ones. They're just like the gallery.
Oh, so they can get more ad space in.
Oh, wait, I passed Greenland. Oh, this is just food. I don't know.
I think they just called it that because they had the special liquor from Greenland, so blah blah
I
blah.
think the. I just think the writer didn't like Greenland.
Maybe, but in any case, I almost skipped past your favorite scene where the
Oh,
brother-in-law,
yes.
so Nick and the brother-in-law get in a fight in the snow, to
Yeah.
which,
The most impressive punch.
yes, and then somebody saves the day for Nick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, our old buddy Elf.
Is this
That's
our
right.
first CGI reveal?
Yes.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Technically, it's the first actual elf reveal too of him moving around.
Yeah.
Dude, I looking at this scene, I was expecting him to just start like I wouldn't have been surprised if all of a sudden that like meme from years ago, the I forget this, the Harlem Shake. It looked like it was getting ready to do that as it was like the camera's pointed up and it was just like moving its arms around and I was just waiting for it. It's just like just it going nuts. But
I
this was
Yeah,
oh god.
I thought that he was gonna like take over the body or something. Like he was chanting, and like
Mm-hmm.
he kind of does something with the body later, but it's very unclear on how, why, or what is happening.
Yeah. So yeah, he but this is also when I turned on subtitles.
I
So
see
like
weird foreign chanting.
yeah, that was the like it was that scene because what did I have it here. I was like, why is the family so awkward? Why is the audio so bad? And then I was also asking, whose family is this? Because I didn't have subtitles on. And then I was like, I
Yeah.
guess it's just hers. And then what is written, this is a very unconvincing punch to where I'm so glad I put on subtitles because the picture I put is the elf just standing with his arms up and it just is weird foreign chanting.
And then to which I send the screenshot back of the elf walking,
Yes.
this little smirk.
And his dead
And
eyes.
he's
And then
gained a
I
lot of weight between being his puppet form and the CGI form. Like he
yeah,
bulked up.
yeah, he balked up for CGI. And then I gave the only responsible response. Perfection.
Then we have yeah, and then we have the sisters arguing, and then Nick comes in, and then the family gets into a fight, and the fiance's like, "I'll support you, no matter even if you hurt my brother-in-law." And he's not offended. He's not upset that she accused him of murdering her brother-in-law, and she's also not upset if he murdered her brother-in-law. To which everyone's like, "We got to go find him." and then the dad gets stabbed and all of the shenanigans, and then the stepmom starts to get hunted, and the stepmom calls Sky while Sky
Yeah.
is yelling at
Well,
a
Sky
fucking
calls.
drive-through worker.
Sky calls, and that's why she
Oh,
picks
she
up.
picks
It's just
up
like
to report the murder, but yeah.
it. To be fair, even though so much of this movie doesn't make sense, it does explain why Sky is able to get to, as they say, the literal nowhere in like the perfect amount of time to pick up a certain somebody.
Yes. So then yeah, so then yeah, Sky's whole thing where she was yelling at a fast food worker, I was like, nobody gets paid enough for you to be this mean. So let's take it down a notch. You could pull the car over. There's probably a line behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I do want to say one thing. As the dad got stabbed, I can never move past this because I was a first responder for a
he
while.
was sitting on the knife
That
or ice pick,
yes, yeah, it
screwdriver.
was. I don't know. It was something sharp, but they were implying that it was impaled in the side of his leg,
Mm-hmm.
the inside thigh, and he proceeds to pull it out. Unless something has changed, you never want to pull out something like a knife, screwdriver, ice pick, a log that is just impaled in your skin because it's actually stopping blood flow. Like what you want to do is put gauze around it to like help secure it so it doesn't do a little wiggle move in your body to make the wound worse. But the like big thing is like don't remove it until you like have medical professionals that will literally be able to stitch you up right away.
Yeah, no, but my favorite was they wanted to convince me that like he was impaled, but it was angled like in such a
Yes,
direction that it
it
was
was
clear he
like
was sitting on it. And then he never bled from that.
yeah, never.
Also, I love the screenshot I sent you of the elf like peeking behind like the stool leg.
It's like I'm gonna get you.
The other thing I think was really bad about this movie is the framing of a lot of shots. That's the other screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw that screenshot, but a lot of it like space was not used well at all to convey anything. Like I know they made comments saying like they clearly just moved into the house and there's like no furnishings. But in one of the scenes where he's like confessing to her like the truth about who he is and his family and what like the hunt is, whatever that was, I could not stop staring at this hung up on the wall of supposedly their bedroom. And for audio listeners, it's like two brothers, and it looks like it was drawn by like a 13-year-old. Again, no hate to a 13-year-old who drew this, but they have no paintings, they have no family photos, they have nothing on the walls of this house other than random Christmas decorations. But they have
Mm-hmm.
these like this side portrait of two siblings, and there's nobody with brothers in the movie. There's no two brothers in the whole movie.
Looks like a young Donald Trump.
So I
The
was staring at
character.
that while the guy is like, "Oh my God, this is my past. This is this is the supernatural. This is the emblem I have." And I was just staring at that like, who are those kids?
They put it up there to distract you from the magical sliding emblem.
Um,
Yeah.
and then before we run out of the timer, all I'm gonna add on is to say that M. Night Shyamalan, hold your pants. You have another
We
twist.
had the same thought. I was like, who was in? Someone was watching Emily Shaw because earlier, when he like sticks the knife under the door, I was like, oh, someone saw signs.
Because of the spoon. Or well,
Yep.
the knife reflection, but yeah.
Yes.
Um,
I will ask though, why did she think it would be smart to just sit up against a door as earlier we saw the elf literally stab your stepmom underneath the floor in her foot? Like it was seen and everyone saw it. It wasn't like it was a hidden thing. I was like, I don't think I would just sit next to the door because like there's like a inch and a half gap
underneath,
between.
yeah. Don't
Yeah.
worry, they put the CGI in so he went through the door.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, yeah, so she's acting all dramatic, acting like she's about to die when she really has her own subplot. going on that makes literally no sense, and there's no hint towards it at all. All they do is what she has trouble opening windows for half the movie, and she's like, Nick, help me open this window. And he's like, what is that emblem? And she turns around, how do you think my family knew where to find us? And I was like, okay, who is this character? What
Yeah,
is happening? And then she hits him over the head with a flashlight, wants the list for herself, and says, only one name can be taken off that list, and it's gonna be mine.
yeah, and it was never very clear on how the name gets taken off. The other thing it felt like is that the elf could only kill people on the
She
list.
said, yeah, descendants from the family or
Then,
something of the town.
then why the heck did those carolers get killed?
They must have been from the town.
I don't know. Um, but yeah, I will say, um, the mom I think got off with the easiest death. I don't even think she's dead. She just got tied up, and it
She
was like,
probably eventually suffocated.
yeah, it was like, well, that was the intended thing to make it look like the wrapping around her neck was supposed to suffocate her, except it wasn't.
Very
Like
tight.
it, it was loosely hanging there.
I thought she
Remember?
was going to be in the present.
That's what I thought too. She probably is. She probably died of like hunger.
Asphyxiation. Yeah. The scene with the giant box that I sent you the thing of where the framing is
Yeah,
terrible. Most of the space in the framing is taken up by the room. You have this giant present on a bed. You have the tiniest little elf puppet sticking out of the top, and then the whole right of the frame is the back of her head. So like nobody's acting. It's just an inanimate object sitting in an inanimate object.
and then it just would like, yeah, and it's like, okay, we know what's in there.
My favorite part of the captions is most of them were like malevolent, elvish laughing,
Yes. The
malevolent elfish chanting. Um,
the other thing I thought you would get a laugh at is like the dad looks out the window and he's like, "Oh, look, a snowman's out there. Who put the snowman?" I'm like, "Oh, Jack Frost is
Jack Frost.
back."
Yeah, and then oh yeah, because he discovers the brother-in-law or his son-in-law in the snowman, and he comes in ranting, "He's in the snowman. He's in the snowman."
Yeah, but like the first person the elf kills is out there. It's not.
The first death is the grandparents that were in the car.
Yeah. Oh, timer's up.
The timer. Okay. To summarize, the movie ends with Sky saying, I know it's cheap and it's kind of silly, but I bought you a Christmas gift, and it's the elf that she thought that
Yeah,
she was finally free from because she sacrificed her fiance.
she didn't love him.
I didn't say she loved him. I just said her
She.
fiance.
Yeah, but yeah.
Do you have anything else to add to this?
Um, I will say that it felt like some of the scenes in the beginning, like Shovel Man, um, he had like a hole in the back of his shirt, and I was like, is this implying that he had some sort of interaction? Never brings it back.
Yeah, I thought like he was stabbed. Oh, yeah, that plot point was mentally, everyone in the town are children, but their bodies got old.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I didn't understand it.
Um,
And there was something about like hunting down the souls if you bring them to the underworld. So my grandfather started this pact, but I guess he didn't finish it. Again, it went in one ear and out the other. It didn't make any sense to
yeah,
me.
yeah. Trying to think. We covered. Oh, I just saw like I think my favorite part of this movie is the only thing we can hear easily is this dang elf grumbles. Yeah, it's the clearest thing you can hear. Besides, it's like, oh, that was my biggest annoyance. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. Okay, where's the power? What? Oh, whoa, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna leave now. I wish the dad died earlier. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have much to add. This like, it wasn't shot well. It wasn't recorded well. The
Oh, I
audio,
mean, the joke, I would not be surprised if it was a foreign film because the dubbing with the audio to the mouths was so off at different
yeah,
points.
yeah, it's just it wasn't. This was the only movie in this list so far that, um, while I was watching it, I kept checking how much more of the movie we had left.
You said
I
that
did
about
this,
Jack Frost as well.
yeah, but I felt like I did this more with the elf because I feel like
I think every 15 minutes I went, this is really an hour and a half. How is this going to conclude? And I think I was upset because I think to start, I was like 45 minutes in, first death. And he was like 45 minutes in. I was like, oh no.
yeah, I the only thing I could think of that could make this better is if they just didn't do it.
If it was only a short film where it ends where the Krampus takes his note.
I think if it stayed a short film, you know what? Okay, so today I literally OTV they had like a Halloween horror film that they put out. All right, I just dated the episode. Okay, they put it out. I think like yesterday or the day before. That movie was 15 minutes. It was better acted, better filmed, better like sound quality, everything by YouTubers, which it would make sense. Like, well, and streamers, but it was like everything was like it wasn't like oh my goodness, I'm super nervous, but it was like a move of as a short film infinitely better than what I watched the night before with the elf.
And this is only an hour and a half long. But
Yeah,
hey,
this was only 20 minutes at most, the YouTube video.
look, I have a
It's
couple questions for you.
uh, no.
You
I want to
refuse to talk about
complain
this
more.
movie.
This is my cell. I don't want to talk about it.
I'll
No, go
start
ahead.
off. Were you rooting for anyone to make it to the end?
The elf.
He
Just kill him.
did.
I know
Oh,
he made it.
speaking of really badly thrown punches, when Nick is supposed to be destroying it,
Yeah.
he was like, I don't want to hurt my hand. Huh,
Yeah.
huh. And she's in the background, kill that piece of shit. Ah.
Yeah. That was yeah, throughout this whole film, I'm like I am legitimately not rooting for everybody.
I
Like
also
I
didn't
kind
realize the elf was supposed to be porcelain until his face broke.
yeah, same here. So, but yeah, I wish the elf did I forget what movie it is. There's a I think a Leslie Nelson movie where I see the clip all the time where this person calls up and they're just like, I have information, or there's like some spy thing. I think it's like not a spy movie or whatever it is. And they pull out a gun and shoot it through the phone and it kills the person on the other line. You're
Oh,
like, that's done.
Kung Fu.
Oh, is that Kung Fury?
No, 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 not Kung Fury. It's a
Yeah.
YouTube movie. I watched it. It's like it has like the
Okay.
laser velociraptors. I very much enjoyed that. It's I'll look it up. But next
Yeah.
question for you, because we can agree that like there was nobody worth
There
like
was no pets that I could default to.
no, the cat in Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm. The cat in Bloodbeat. The cat in the Ginger. Well, there wasn't a cat in Ginger Dead Man. There probably was.
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. Okay. Oh wait, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're okay.
I think I've seen that. Now I gotta. I will answer your question while I make sure. I
Would
see
you
this.
consider this more a Christmas movie or Halloween movie?
I want to ask the question. Do I consider this a movie? No.
This is from Kung Fury. Is this the shot you're talking
Yes.
about? Yeah.
I this is not the scene. I did see this movie. This movie's a fun movie.
It's a
There's
good movie.
I just found out there was a second one. Yes. I'd much rather talk about this movie.
Okay, let's not distract ourselves too much.
No,
Is it Christmas, Halloween? Oh, you said not a movie.
I don't think it's a movie.
It was certainly filmed, acted, directed, and edited.
Yeah. shot in front of a non-public something.
Yes. But if you had to pick a holiday, I think I'd
It would fit Christmas. Maybe
yeah, it's got to
Hanukkah.
be Christmas because it's a Christmas party.
Yeah. It fits the Christmas season.
It has the decorations. There's no Santa. There's Christmas
Hmm.
music because of the carolers. What's the moral? Don't date someone
Um
with trauma?
um just yeah, sure. I can't think of anything right now. My brain was like,
Don't
don't
date
date.
don't date
Just,
someone who lives in a
just
small
don't
town and
date.
can't introduce you to his parents. Because he killed them, maybe, but not really, maybe. Did we ever find out what he did, what happened when he was 9? There was just creepy Santa face. Oh, there was Santa Claus. There's Demon Santa.
Yeah, there's yes the brisk iced tea Santa Claus. Oh, I found what I was thinking of. This,
Oh, that's a different movie.
yeah, I don't
That's
know what it
probably what
is.
inspired Kung Fury.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, yeah, I think it'd be Christmas. What was the next question? Sorry.
We'll move on. Do you think the movie could have taken place without it being during Christmas? And I feel like your answer is, I don't think this movie should have taken place.
Yeah, but
I
no,
think Christmas is an
I
important plot point.
yes, it is like the elf outside of Christmas doesn't make sense with anything else. Excuse me. So it's yeah, no, it can't happen outside of
I
Christmas, and
have
it's
an idea.
important
What if
plot
this is a
point.
connected universe and his Demon Santa is a defective one from the Rare Exports team?
That would make this movie a lot better.
And the Krampus, we have a hairy Krampus, although much smaller in this movie than he seemed to be in Rare Exports.
Was that a Krampus or was it the elf in the beginning? I thought it.
I thought it was a big hairy like claw hand that takes the notes and does all the growling when he's like, if you don't let me finish this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it was probably Satan.
Uh, does this meet your criteria for a Christmas movie?
No.
We went through our list. Christmas decorations, Santa
Yeah.
appearance, Christmas music. It happens during the Christmas season. There's just no
It,
Christmas moral.
yeah. It fits our criteria, but I don't want to give it the title of a Christmas movie.
Okay. So now the fun question, the overall rating
Oh, definitely a 10.
out of
5.
it's a 200% good movie.
Exactly. Would never watch again because it was too good. um thing is it it has to be lower in my mind than the one we watched last week.
It is worse than Jack Frost.
What was the 1.5? Blood Beat. Oh man.
Blood Beat had cool visuals
Yeah.
sometimes.
The problem is now I would Blood Beat would be like maybe a 3 to 4
It is
for me
hard though because
now.
we did have a third rating in there to like
Yes. Yeah. And then Jack Frost, I think, would probably be a solid 2.
yeah, give it the 0.75 points. I'm going to rate this movie 0.25.
I'm gonna give it a 0.1.
Our average is a 0.1125. Got it. Or no,
No, it'd be
125.
0.35.
135?
No, that's smaller. That's a smaller number.
Oh, no, but between 0.1 and 0.25.
Uh, I I think a 1.3 or a 0.35 is just a funnier number.
Yeah, so if I do 0.1 plus 0.25 divided by 2, 0.175. It's late. I don't think people should expect me to do math right now.
It's late. You guys shouldn't have expected a real score. We were planning real shows.
So if I take the
Oh, we're definitely ruining the movie average.
this is not including next week's movie, but our current
Okay.
after
Can't wait.
this movie, our average rating is a 3.88.
I wish we kept the. Oh wait, I guess we could do this like from week to week to week.
I mean, this one would be the nosedive because last week I reported it was at like 4.3.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it was at like 4.3.
Hey, I Santa Jaws is going to be amazing after this.
Oh wait, my math's a little wrong.
Oh no.
My math was wrong last week. So okay. So last week it our average was actually a 4.96. So almost a 5. And then we went from almost a 5 to a 4.3.
Okay. Hey, every list needs its cell, and this one.
This was like
There's a question. Would you rather watch The Cell or The Elf again?
um I
A solid 5 seconds of regret of hearing that question.
the
Or
problem
second.
is you're asking me if I want to watch something mind-numbing to the point where I'd probably fall asleep, i.e. The Elf, or would I want to watch something so problematic that I'd probably start getting really mad?
You know what?
This
I
Elf.
think we're not getting a full picture. We obviously have to watch Elves and The Cell too.
Um, I just remember the cell. I was like, this is an interesting visual. Where will they take this? And then they took me into the kid's past, and I was like, oh, um,
Hmm.
newsflash, everybody. If you're mean to kids, they will not automatically become mute serial killers.
I sat there and I was like, I don't remember any of this.
You were like, I like the costumes. I was like, yes, but it's unfortunate that they're all pretty problematic.
Hmm.
And the reason they did the costuming. The ending of this cell is so bizarre to me. I'm thinking about it again. So the ending of this was a poorly planned twist that they did for the sake of having a twist and for the sake of having a sequel, which I'm like,
Hmm.
plenty of like lower budget movies do that to try and like get people in on the next one. For anyone that like liked it enough, they know there's
You
another
know
one
what? They
coming.
still could have had the thing for the sequel without the twist.
Yes. Yeah, the twist is for the twist's sake. The ending is something different. Jack Frost did it. Ginger Dead Man did it. Like all of these movies of like the same kind of budget all do
All
this.
these movies that shouldn't have a sequel.
All come pre-built with a sequel.
Yeah.
Um
Necrotronic didn't. That's why it's higher than all these movies that have pre-built sequels.
and then but the ending of the cell, if you guys haven't watched that episode, you can hear me literally lose my mind as we talk about the cell in that one Halloween bracket because the
Hmm.
idea of a movie ending spoilers. We didn't say spoilers earlier, but we also assume no one's gonna watch this movie. But some spoilers for the cell if anyone
Yes.
watches that one instead is they say this boy has religious trauma, be careful, and she goes, I know. I'll be safe hearing that
I'll be Mary now.
memory of being drowned by his father during his baptism, and JLo goes, I know how to fix.
Yep.
Was it is the movie low-key Catholic Church propaganda?
Uh,
Don't get baptized in a lake, get baptized in the church.
I don't know. uh, it's like choose your poison.
So I'd rather not be angry and just feel like I wasted an hour and a half of my life. So I think I'd rather watch The Elf. Where do you land?
Oh, I wouldn't watch either of them.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
That's always like my favorite thing where it's just like someone gives like this question that's like two like terrible, terrible choices. And it's just like, so what would you choose? And the person would go like, as you just said throughout all that. And then they're like, oh, what about you? Oh, I wouldn't do it.
I just simply would not.
Yeah. I remember hearing it in like another podcast and they did, and they're just like, what would you do? Oh, I wouldn't. And then the person got very upset how they had like a 2 to 3 minute like monologue of, it was like the equivalent of like, would I can't remember what it is now. It was like selling out like, it was either like killing your your mother or your mother-in-law, or like making your kids like watch something terrible or something terrible or something like that. And he's just like, I it wasn't killing the mother. I can't remember what it
But
was,
it
but
was two extremes that made him
it was
like get
very
out.
two extreme things. And then it was just like, I don't know, what would you choose? Not neither. What?
But yes, I hope you guys listen to. I also realized we haven't really hashed a movie from beginning to end because we didn't feel the need to. But this movie, talking about it in like different sections,
Mhm.
there's not enough context. There's not enough context in the movie in its entirety, really.
Yeah. If we ever wanted to copy that one other podcast that I can't remember what it's called, where they watch the same movie every week of the year and they just record it, so they watch the same movie 52 times, I would veto this one.
I don't know if there's any movie I could do that with.
Yeah, they normally it gets very existential by the middle of it.
Yeah,
From what
I'm sure
I
like
remember
if you
here.
pick something like The Matrix, you're gonna start like trying to find meaning in the movie, and then after a couple of weeks, you're like, what if I'm Neo? Like you just start losing your
Yeah,
mind.
it well the from what I heard, they don't choose good movies.
Okay. Have you there's a YouTuber, Eddie Burback. He went and watched Morbius in theaters 5 days in a row. So if you want a similar experience, I'll have to link you the video. It was well, he I saw an interview and someone was like, what made you think of like doing that as a YouTube video?" And the guy was like, "I just thought it was funny, but when I tried to explain it to other people, they were just like, why? Why?"
Yeah, the only thing I ever heard about Morbius is this YouTube channel I used to watch where one of the guys would just be like, Morbius, it's going to be the best movie ever. And like the year was supposed to come out. He's like, it's coming out in April. And then it's like, it's been delayed. No.
That's funny. But in any case, we're getting off topic. We definitely talked about the elf for a long time.
Longer than we expected.
But we thank you for listening this far. If you enjoyed it, please let us know either by leaving ratings, reviews, comments, like subscribing to our YouTube channel, or sharing this with other people so that we know to make more episodes like this. Because I need to know that I did this for something. I need to know that I watched this movie for not just me, me suffering.
This is going to be the episode like when your like niece and nephew have kids and they're going to be like,
This is
great,
my aunt's
great
legacy.
aunt, great aunt, what is this? And they just bring up the elf. And you're just like, just sitting there like, no, no, just like yelling at them. What,
I
like,
think like I know how like trends go full circle. If one day for some reason there ends up being like a huge fandom suddenly of the cell, I think that'll be like what gives me my heart attack when I'm older. In 40 years, people are like, I just found this random movie with like Jennifer Lopez in it and blah 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 blah. I'd be like, No.
I heard about it on this obscure podcast, Pointless Discourse, when they had to go against something. What do we have that go against?
Oh,
Where
it's
is
been a
that on
while.
here? We have so many tabs. Holiday
I
episodes?
might have
Is it
deleted the tab, to be honest.
uh Halloween movie bracket, the tournament challenge? It was against, I'm surprised it still works. The Cell was against Train to Busan.
I was gonna guess Train to Busan.
Yes, because it was Reanimator versus Train to Busan.
Little bun,
And
don't chew
the
on my purse. Please. I'm almost done. You'll get attention in a second, I promise. Thank you. He's deaf. He doesn't know what I said.
it's like this doesn't taste like hay. Anyway, that is it, everyone. If you could like, comment, review, all that stuff that you do on all the things, it helps out a bunch. And yeah, as we already said earlier, we are going to be doing Anne of the Apocalypse next week with special guest
I told
Maddie.
you that. I heard
With
him
Maddie.
doing it.
Yep. With Maddie. I forget her full name, but we say it
She
in the
can't
episode.
cook. Maddie can't cook.
Yes, Maddie can't cook. Friend of ours, and Hop needs to go discipline a bunny. So anyway, thank you everyone. Until next time, peace.